Hey everyone, it's Tawney. In today's video, I thought I'd try out some products that I haven't used in a while and just see if I either like them, if I want to keep using them, or if I want to just get rid of them altogether. Some of them are old favorites, some of them are ones that I used but just never thought they were my super faves. And the eyeshadow palette, I had recently seen a picture online and thought of this palette, even though that wasn't the picture I saw. And I was like, I never used that palette, but that was like the most talked about palette when it came out. You'll see it when we get to that part. Just a little disclaimer right now, my neighbors are very loud and they may or may not be coming home or leaving or things like that. Like there's noises in the parking lot right now. So if you do hear loud noises or like cars starting up that are really annoying and like noisy, just ignore that. I can't really do much about it. I shut the window, closed the door to try and keep all the sound here in the room that we're in. So I do apologize for that, but there's not much I can do. So let's jump into the video. The primer that I'm going to use is the Rimmel Stay Matte Mattifying Primer. This was a primer I had been using for so long. When I started to really get into makeup and watch makeup videos and learn that makeup is not just not everything they sell in the stores is great and not everything they sell is going to work for me. This was one that Nakia Joy had recommended to me, and I had heard that it was going to be discontinued, so I bought 4 bottles. And then I've seen it in all my CVS's, Walmart's, everything around me. So I'm not quite sure if it was in Australia it was going to be discontinued because that's where Nakia Joy's from, or if nobody's buying it so it's staying in stock for a long time at my my stores. I was gonna say grocery stores, but they're not grocery stores. But I used to love this primer because I'm a very oily person. Anymore, I feel like I'm a bit more on the combination side, but I can still make this work. It'll still, do what it needs to do. I'm not leaning towards the mattifying products as much anymore. And it's not because I don't like a matte look. It's just that sometimes I think it can be a bit too drying. And then it ends up making my skin look a little bit textured and just not as nice as I want it to. So I tend to go for the NYX Angel Veil primer because it's just an overall, it's just a primer. There's no claims to it or anything. This one I like because it leaves my skin feeling really soft, and even though it's a white primer, it always I don't want to say dissolves, but absorbs into the skin, so I never feel that I'm left with a white cast on my face. Now the foundation I'm going to use, I got out because I had recently just bought the dewy version. This is the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. I'm using the shade Shell Ivory, and it's the same as the dewy one, but I'm not quite sure this is my exact shade, but we're going to try it. Yeah, it doesn't smell, it smells like paint thinner, but it doesn't smell expired. I've had this so long that I don't know, and I just never used it. It was never one that I thought was the greatest thing ever. And this is something that Tati talks about in her not that she thinks it's the greatest thing ever, but she thinks it's one of her holy grail drugstore products. And everybody's skin is different. Everyone's gonna have different things are going to work differently for this person over this person, and that's just kind of how makeup works, and that's how it was made to work, and I like it that it's like that. So not everything is made for one particular skin type, skin tone, all that sort of thing. But this one was just one that it always looked okay, but never spectacularly amazing. And I think that is the same with the Pure 4-in-1. Or maybe not the 4-in-1. It's the concealer and foundation thing. I know that Raw Beauty Christie talks about that as if it's the best thing since sliced bread. And every time I use it, I'm just it's okay, but it's not my favorite. And that's one, kind of like this one, that they claim to be full coverage, and they claim to cover every single redness spot, any kind of imperfection, any kind of hair, any texture. You're completely left with a whole different skin, but not in a masky way. And I just never noticed, I never saw it as that. And I applied a lot, I applied a little, I tried to stretch it out, and it just never seemed to be what I wanted it to be, and or what people claimed it was. So I was just always left it was okay, but meh. And this is how I feel about this one. I'm hoping this wears well today, especially over the the other products that I've picked out. So far it looks really good, and it looks like it's covered all of my like redness, and I have a pimple right here, or like some sort of like mark thing. I don't know, it's a little bit like I don't know, you can feel it. It's not just one you see. But like there's nothing else that I really have to worry about. Like there's something here. I know it's hard to tell, and my mirror's over here, so that's why I'm like leaning this way. But I think it looks good so far. The concealer I'm going to use is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. It's the long wear concealer. Mine is in the shade Nude Ivory, and I bought this when, I think this came out around the same time that the, I'm trying to make sure none of these things are expired, because I don't want to put something on my face that's going to make me break out. Especially not when I'm having like good skin days right now. But don't need that added stress. But this came out, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, this came out around the time that the Stick foundation came out. And I had watched Kathleen Light's review on the Stick foundation, and she hated it. Now, she's dry skin, but it looked so dewy on her, and she's like, if you have oily skin, I wouldn't even bother with it. And I just didn't feel like wasting my money on a product that may or may not work. And I'm like, if somebody on YouTube is trying this out and says that it's not like that great, then I'm just going to take their word for it. I mean, I know that like makeup's all like it's not universal, and it's all opinionated, and like this may work for you but may not work for someone else, and like things like that. But like I don't know, I just didn't really want to like invest in something that like I was just kind of on the fence of. But then I think this came out, and I was really intrigued because I love a good concealer. Anymore, I don't tend to buy concealers because I have what I like and I need to get through them. Anything I typically buy nowadays is stuff that needs, like it's expired and I need to get more of. But like, I don't know, this just always intrigued me, and I've used it a couple times and never had any problems with it. But I know some people think that it's like okay but not great, but I always liked it. It's just not one I ever reach for all the time, because I have like a few on my desk and then some in little drawers here, and it was one that sat in the drawer, and I just never really like, it never wowed me. The powder I'm going to be using is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder, and this is in Warm. It's Warm 2 Light Ivory. Now, Emily Noel had talked about this powder in a recent video, like a very, very recent video, and she said it's not quite mattifying, but it's also not a powder that like is going to transform your foundation, which I don't always reach for powders that like have good claims, like not good claims, but like big claims. Like I just want a powder that's gonna like set my under eyes. Like I don't bake. I don't like to use any kind of powder that's like super intense or super white or anything like that. I typically just want something that's gonna like blur my pores a little bit and help keep the oil on my nose in check. And I'm excited to see how this one works. It had been in a declutter of mine, and I was on the fence about getting rid of it because I wasn't sure if I truly wanted to get rid of it, because I hadn't ever given it like a fair shot. But I'm interested to see how it works now and to see if I like it. Hopefully, I'll remember to check on my makeup later. It's currently 4:17, so it's a little late to be doing a try-on thing, if you want to call it this. But I usually stay up till like 1 in the morning, and that's when I take my makeup off when I stay up that late. So like, I don't know. We'll see how it works. We'll see if I like it. The bronzer I'm using is the Milani Bronzer in Silky Matte number 3. I remember buying this. I was dog sitting, so I wasn't even living in my apartment or at home. I have my apartment and then my parents' house I call home. But I was dog sitting for like a week or so. So I had like a makeup bag, and I had like 1 or 2 of my favorites, and that was it. And I remember buying this around that time. So this was like one of like 2 bronzers I had on hand. And I remembered liking it, but it was just never anything that like, oh my gosh, look at my face. Like I was just never like crazy about it. But I know a lot of people really like it online, and they like always talk about how good it is. So I'm really interested to try it and see if I'll like it too, because I'm always interested in finding a good bronzer, especially one that I pulled right out of my closet back there or out of the drawers up here. So we'll have to see if this works. We'll have to see if it looks nice. I bought a deeper shade because sometimes the lighter shades just kind of tend to like, they just get blended into my skin. They never really like show up or show like a contour, and I always want something that's a little bit more like a contoured look. I never want anything that's like just a wash of like brown color on my face. You know what I mean? Like I want something that's going to help with like the definition of my cheekbones a little bit because I don't really have like super big cheekbones and I have a bit of like a puffier face. But yeah, it's definitely one that I'm interested in trying out. And I'm not contouring my nose, like hardly ever do. I just kind of like brush the bronzer contour on my nose and hope for the best. And I know a lot of other YouTubers that do that. And it's just my personal preference because I'm lazy. So far it looks really good on my cheeks. I feel like I'm getting a bit of a glow and it could be from the window. So I'm not quite sure if it's like the powder, the foundation, or the bronzer, but I'm liking it so far and I think it really like goes well with my skin tone. Like it's hard to tell on camera or like on my phone that I'm filming from today, but like it's hard to tell because I'm not going to do like YouTube makeup where like everything's over exaggerated so you can see it on the camera but you can't see it in real life. Like it's adding a bit right here of like dimension for me, but it's not doing anything like crazy. And I don't want my makeup to look like I don't want to look like a drag queen. Like that's not the look I'm going for today. The blush I'm going to be using is the Essence Satin Touch blush in Satin Coral number 10. This was one I picked up from Ulta out of town because yeah, our Ulta in town doesn't have Essence, and my CVS in town doesn't have Essence either. So anytime I ever get it, I have to get it out of town or online. But I had heard somebody online rave about this, and I was like, well, I'll give it a go. I'll try it out. And I'm always, like, really intrigued by Essence and LA Colors makeup to, like, try and test to see if it's really good. And, like, Essence is one of those brands that, like, I will defend, like, to the end. Like, even if the products aren't that great, like I'll admit that there's some products that either I don't like or I'm not interested in trying to even see if they're like decent. Like some of their eyeshadow palettes just look a little bit like meh. And I'm just like, I'd rather spend my money elsewhere or like go in my closet and find some things. But this was one I remember always liking. It's just not one I ever reach for a whole lot. So there's nothing wrong with it and I'm not getting rid of it. It's just something that I'm going to like get out and try again. Same with my highlighter. It's the Maybelline Master Chrome and this is in the 100 Molten Gold. There's no mirror, I'm just covering it up. Pull on a Kathleen, I feel like. I always like the rose gold one better than this, but I know a lot of people online really like this one and I know that this is like one of Tati's favorites. Although I'll say when the Puma collection came out, I bought that highlighter and that might be one of my like favorites. Like it's sitting on my pile right here in front of me as like one of the ones I reach for all the time. And this one always just felt like a tad too dark. Like I can kind of see a little bit of a strip. Like it looks nice, but I'm kind of getting a little bit like a strip to my face. And I'm not a big fan of that, especially when I'm more like, I'm not like fair, but I'm definitely lighter. And I don't really want to like try and wear like darker skin tone geared makeup if that's not like it's not geared for me, so I don't want to like try and wear it, you know. Like they make so much stuff for lighter skin, so why would I want to like steal their like I don't know. I don't want to get into that right now. But I like this. It's one that I'm definitely never going to get rid of unless it like goes bad, but like it's just not my favorite. I think Maybelline makes other ones. I'd like to see more brands come out with like highlighters and stuff. Like, I know CoverGirl just came out with some, and I've heard, I think Tati liked them, but I haven't tried those yet. I really like the Wet n Wild ones in the squares. I wish e.l.f. would come out with some, because I know the ones they've come out with have been, like, iffy. And L'Oreal's, like, I can't think of a highlighter they've come out with, like, so I don't know. I'd like to see more from the drugstore just to see if there's, like, anything new to try out. The brow product I'm going to be trying it's definitely an older one that I'm like just now finding because I dug it up in my thing, in my makeup drawer, because I keep all of these, because like look how small they are, just keep them in the drawer here. This is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer, and it has a spoolie on one end and then has a retractable like waxy pen on the other end. You can kind of see how it has that like tip. I was using this the other day and broke off part of that, so I think it might just be old or I was applying too much pressure. Like they're both possibilities of like what I did wrong to them. But hair in the way. I think it's a good color for me and I think it's a decent formula. Now I definitely would rather reach for my LA colors or LA girls, LA girl. I think it's LA girl It's the Shady Brow. I think it's Shady Brown. I think it's something like that. I'd rather reach for that one because it's like $4.99. You can sometimes get it cheaper. I think $4.99 is like the cheapest I've seen it. But like if you have coupons and stuff, or like if you go to Ulta and you have like the 350 off $15 and you're like already picking some other stuff up, like you can get it for a reasonable price. And I don't think the $4.99 is like that expensive. Then again, there's been times where I didn't even want to like buy something that was $4.99 because it was like too much. But I mean, it just all depends on your preference and like what your price range is. But I think it looks really nice. I think it's one that like I would recommend to people, but it's just not one that I ever like, I don't know. It's like decent, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I need to use that all the time. So the eyebrow gel I'm going to use is the NYX Control Freak. And I don't ever use this one a whole lot because it makes my eyebrows a bit crunchy. And I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I want my eyebrows to look a little bit more natural, especially because I have a lot of eyebrows. But, and the spoolie is huge. Like, I mean, it fits on my eyebrows because I have huge eyebrows, but like, geez. And like, I don't know. I think it works. I think it's a good one if you're willing, if you like want to spend the money. I mean, it's like $9.99 or something like that. So it's like decently priced. But, yeah. The eyeshadow primer I'm going to use is from Milani. It's one that Emily Noel talks about all the time. Like, if she ever said, okay, what's my favorite? And I'd, like, automatically know. A lot of people say this is a dupe for the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. I forget what it's called. It's in the little purple tube. I thought about trying it because I've seen it at TJ Maxx. Although I'm pretty sure the one I've seen at TJ Maxx has been, like, a deeper shade. And I'm not in, like, unless I wanted to change the undertone, like, the base of my eyeshadow, I wouldn't want to go in that direction. But, that's always an option. You could go that way or you could go with this one. But, I have a sleeper in my eye. I mean, I slept until, like, 11 o'clock, so I don't know why. But, this whole quarantine thing has had me so, like, out of sorts. Like, I've been sleeping in late, staying up till, like, 2 in the morning. Like, my boyfriend and I watched Ghost Adventures last night till, like, 2 in the morning. Sorry about the car honking. There's literally nobody that lives over there, and the bar that's over there is closed. So I'm not quite sure why anyone would be honking, but whatever. I don't know. People are weird. I'm using an eyeshadow primer on my eyes today. Sometimes I don't, but I'm trying to get more into the habit of it, especially after watching Robert Welsh's videos where he talked about how eyeshadow primer is made to be tacky and like hold down your eyeshadow, and it's not oil based, whereas your concealers tend to like, they can make your eyeshadow crease a bit, and they're not meant to go on your eyelids when they like, especially if they are oily. So I'm trying to use an eyeshadow primer to try and like see if my eyeshadows work better with that, because I've noticed sometimes that like I've bought really expensive palettes that like I know the quality's good and used a concealer and my eyeshadow like ends up in my crease. Like I have nothing on my lid and it's all in the crease. The palette that I'm going to be using today that I had mentioned is the Colourpop Sweet Talk Pressed Powder palette. There's a sticker on the back and it's, I don't know. But I had seen with their new release, holy crap, with their new release of those two like springy palettes, and the greenish yellowish looking one looked a lot like this palette in my mind. Now that I have it, I'm thinking, oh, that's not the case. I just dropped my lipstick. But yeah, it reminded me of this one, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm not quite sure if that's like the vibe that like, if that's, you know, if they're the same thing or not, I don't know. It just reminded me of it. And maybe it's the color because the color palettes, I don't know. But I want to try this out again because everybody loved this palette. And I know Raw Beauty Christie did a first impressions, or like she reviewed this palette, and then people went crazy over this. Like they went and like bought Colourpop out. And luckily I had bought mine early during all of that craze, so I was able to get it, but it sold out so quickly. And like, I want to quickly mention because I'm upset about it, but due to all of this like coronavirus stuff, Colourpop has had to shut down their warehouse and they're like, and like producing things because they're in California, and I'm like really upset about that. Like, I know it's stupid and I know it's for good reason, but like, I'm kind of upset about that because I was talking to my sister today and I wanted to buy a new cleanser and some like moisturizers and an eye cream. And I remembered seeing that the light blue from Fourth Ray Beauty eye cream was like really good. Someone had reviewed it on YouTube and I was like, oh, I'm interested in trying that because I like don't really use a whole lot of moisturizers and like serums and things, but I want to get into that to try and like help my skin a little bit and like do better for my skin. And then my sister reminded me they're closed. They're not shipping anything. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go buy stuff and then wait for like however long because whoever, who knows when California's going to open their state up again to like ship things from a makeup store because it's not like makeup's that essential. I mean, in my mind it is, but it's not, it's not a hospital. So like it doesn't need to be open right now. But I was just kind of like, ugh. And then I was going to go to, and I don't want to buy from Sephora because of the whole, like, let's fire everyone in a 4-minute video conference call. Like, no. So, yeah. So I first used the shade Catch Me just as, like, an overall, like, all over my lid just to kind of prep it. Then I went into Work It. I can't quite see the shade names. I must be going blind. Everyone in my family wears glasses, so I'm, like, paranoid that the day's going to come that I'm going to need glasses. I don't want glasses. But, yeah, I use the shade Work Me in my crease just to kind of get that, like, transition shade going. I think that's what people call it. Trying to remember. And I think I'm going to go into ICYMI. I think that means in case you missed it. I don't know. I don't even know what, like, yeet means. I used to work at a school and they had like middle school, high school aged like kids. 3/4 of them were boys. And there's this one kid and he was a nice kid. Like once you got to know him, he was a nice kid. He like called me out on my first day and I like almost didn't want to go back. But he would always say yeet. And I like never got it. So now every time somebody says yeet or like when my boyfriend says yeet randomly, I'm like, what are you, like 6th grader? Like, and that's all I can think about. And like, I don't know. I feel like one of those old people that like when these new trends and these new things start happening, I'm just like, what? What is that? Like, what are you talking about? Because like it doesn't make sense to me. I just feel so out of the loop, and I feel like Urban Dictionary needs to be like pinned in my phone, so then anytime somebody says something, I can like, hurry up. What is that? Like, what's the definition? What does it mean? How do I use it? Like, how do I pronounce it half the time? Because it's like GIF or GIF, which I think it's GIF, but. And that's probably just because I don't like peanut butter. But, yeah, that's kind of just, like, I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way? This is kind of getting, like, a cut creasy look going on. You can't really tell. I mean, the light's coming from my window over here. But, like, it's kind of getting a little cut creasy. And that's not what the direction I was going in. I never do a cut crease because, like, my eyelids can't handle it. Because my eye shape, like, my eyes are a bit droopy. Because, like, look at that. So, like, there's just no sense in, like, trying that. I don't know. I'm just not that talented to try that. Maybe I'll make a video, because I saw Allie Glines do one recently, where she reviewed, or she did makeup in a style she doesn't normally. And I feel like that's a really good idea for a lot of people, like, especially now, to try things they haven't done. Because it's not like we're going out and being around people that we would need to, like, make sure our makeup looked good. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it always helps that we look good anytime. Like, we don't want to do our makeup and have it look bad and then have to deal with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of, it makes you feel bad about yourself and about your, like, makeup, like, talent and things like that. But, like, I think it'd be kind of cool. And I thought about doing that. Because there's a lot of styles, like, I don't do eyeliner. And not because I don't like eyeliner, just because I'm terrible at applying it. Like, I bought the Renaissance Flick from Makeup Revolution, and I can't even use that. Like, I've seen videos where people, like, just glide it on real easy, and it's just so smooth and seamless and, like, takes 5 seconds. No. I do that, and it's, like, patchy, and it gets up here, and then my whole eye's, like, black, and then, it just looks terrible. And I just never feel like having to deal with it. So I just never mess with it. And I feel bad talking about other people's, like, makeup ideas, because, like, if you see one from me, then you'll know where I found it. But, like, I don't know, makeup's different on everybody, and it's not like one person came up with something. So, like, I don't know. I don't think certain people would be mad about it. But I saw an idea where someone did It was Kathleen Lights. And she did wearing makeup that starts with your first letter of your name. So hers was like a K inspired video. And I thought about doing that. And then I realized what my name starts with. My name is Tawney. Starts with T, like turtle. And the only brand I can think of that starts with T is Tom Ford. And I am too poor to even buy anything from... So it's not like I even have one product that I can, like, make my video around. I have, like, nothing. So I'm, like, gonna think, like, I kind of want to do the video and just see what I can do with it. So I've been thinking about getting, like, makeup palettes or something. I guess I could make that work and, like, try with it. I'm gonna go back into the Master Chrome to do my inner corner and my brow bone. But, like, I don't know. I can't think of anything. And then I'm thinking, could I do brands that start with the? Because they have, it's, now it, like, it just went away. But then I'm like, I don't know. Like, the Physicians Formula. I feel like there's brands that do start with the. So, like, The Ordinary. Even though I don't have The Ordinary stuff. But, like, could I cheat that way and make that work? Like, can I try that? Because I can't think of anything. So I may have to go to, like, Ulta's page and go to, like, search up brand names by letter and see what's available starting with T. Because Kathleen was like, oh, it's so hard. I'm going to have to do, like, Kylie Jenner. And then she had all these different things. And I'm like, I don't. Like, I can't think of anything. Like, if you guys could help in the comments, I'd really appreciate that. Because I'm like, I don't really use Morphe, but Morphe doesn't start with T. Makeup Revolution starts with M. Rimmel starts with R. Revlon starts with R. Maybelline starts with M. Like, there's nothing that starts with T. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I'm like, I could use products start with the. And, like, so that's an idea. But I don't know. What else do we want to do, guys? I'm kind of liking the matte look that it's going toward. But I'm kind of wanting to dip into Melody. I think it's, yeah. I'm not good about doing the whole, like, mirror thing. Thinking about dipping into Melody because it looks really pretty. I think I'm just going to do it with my finger. I love putting on eyeshadow with my finger. And I know that people might think it's, like, unsanitary or whatever. But, like, it's your finger. It's your face, you know? That's the same with, like, doe foot applicators. People, like, get upset about it. Are you, like, putting your face in your toilet and you're afraid that your makeup's going to get, like, cross-contamination from toilets? Like, I don't understand what, like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling about a lot of topics, but then again, like, I don't know. I feel like that's just kind of where I'm at in life right now. Everything's just, like, bopping around, going to this topic and going to this topic and talking about this, and, like, my boyfriend and I went from watching The Simpsons to The Draft to Ghost Adventures last night. And then he ended up playing Call of Duty. So we were all over the place. Just how our night went. Go wipe this on my leg because I have remainder on my finger. The mascara. Couldn't think of the word. The mascara I'm going to use is the Milani Highly Rated Mascara. And this is just in, like, the darkest black shade because I always do darkest black. Kathleen Lights had reviewed, I think, either this one or the All of Them one, and she really liked it. And I remember buying the Highly Rated, and I wasn't quite sure if this was the one she liked or not, but I like it. I haven't used it in a while. I think I used it the other day, and it's, like, okay. It's not great. Like, if your eyelashes need a little, like, something, like, it provides a little bit of a lift, I'm seeing, but it's not gonna, like, if you have no eyelashes or your eyelashes droop, I don't know if this would be the mascara for you. But if your eyelashes just need, like, extended or, like, some color to them, this one could work. Because, like, it's really hard to tell. That's why people wear falsies on camera a lot. But, like, I think it looks good. And I'm not one to wear falsies. So I'm always looking for a mascara that, like, can give me that effect without, you know, having to go through all that hassle. But, like, I think it looks okay. And I always want a mascara that can look good on the under lashes, like the bottom lashes too, because I hate the thought of having to whip out 2 mascaras. Like, I honestly do. And I feel bad for saying that because I know a lot of people, like, have mascaras for that reason. Like, I know a lot of people like this one CoverGirl one. CoverGirl? I said CoverGirl. It's CoverGirl. It's the green tube, I think. The Lash Blast or something like that. I don't know. But, like, I don't know. I'm just not into that. It's just not my thing. I'm going to pick up my lipstick now because I dropped it. I was hoping it would have been my concealer, so I wouldn't have had to pick it up in the video. But no, it was my lipstick. And it's the Wet n Wild Megalast Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick in Rebel Rose. And I'm pretty sure this had been my, like, go-to liquid lipstick for the longest time. And, like, this is one that when I would wear it to my piano lesson, like, I could wear makeup every single time I went to my piano lesson, like, every week religiously. I'd show up in this, and my piano teacher would say, wow, you're wearing makeup today. Like, I get it when I'm wearing a nude lipstick and, like, my eyes are always neutral. It's hard to tell. And I'm never going for a no makeup look. Ever. So I'm just like, what the heck? Do I have to wear this lipstick for you to think I'm wearing makeup? And I'm like, I don't want her to think that I'm, like, this incompetent person who can't do makeup. And, like, this is the one time I'm wearing it. But whatever. I like this formula. I know a lot of people saying it's drying. But I don't like liquid lipsticks that like, you do this and they're on your hand. Like, I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. So, like, sorry, I can't talk and apply at the same time. But, so I'm always looking for a liquid lipstick that can, like, help me with that I don't have to, like, you know what I mean? I can't talk and do that. Okay. I feel like my lip shade's weird, but it's really not. But I feel like it's weird. I think it looks good. I know it's a bit drying for some people, but that's just kind of my preference. I mean, I just said that, but I really do like it. I think the shade looks nice. I think it matches my sweatshirt pretty well because, like, everything's, like, pink and blues and, like, that makes purple. But, like, I don't know. I think it looks nice. Maybe not with this eye because it's a bit orange, but oh well. And then I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Shake and Glow Lumi Dew Mist Setting Spray. And it's not an old one. It's just one that I haven't used in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and spritz that on my face. It smells good. And we're all done. Let me know if you have any products that you'd like to see me review or talk about, or if you want me to do another video like this, because I do have a lot of makeup in my closet back there that I'm definitely interested in trying now that I'm sitting home alone bored all the time. Give me any video suggestions if you have any, because I'm always interested in doing that. I love to do ones like dedicated to people. If you're interested in that as well, please like, subscribe, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell down below somewhere. That'll give you notifications to all my videos so you know when I upload. I try and do a whiny Wednesday and then a random video throughout the week. Although this past week, I uploaded my whiny Wednesday on Friday because I had planned one, but it was a little bit too whiny, so I changed it to a different one I had pre-recorded. So that's just what you have to get. Do apologize about that. But let me know what you think about this video. Please be nice in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.